And now over to you, Mr. Karantonis.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Karantonis.
Thank you. Indeed, you started reminiscing the situation of 2020, and I have to say, we thought we were living in interesting times back then. We continue to live in interesting times today. And 2023, I have to say, did not disappoint. The world has become significantly more violent, unstable and unpredictable. Democracy is under assault everywhere. The onset of the climate catastrophe is actually very real. Artificial intelligence this year, a very dominating factor, is the riskiest technology of this century so far. And kitchen table concerns remain: cost of living, astronomical rents, lack of childcare, affordable childcare options, excessive cost of healthcare, racial and economic inequalities. 2023 was not a walk in the park. It was a challenging year indeed, and yet it was also the year we could clearly see the way ahead. I have to tell you, nothing filled me with more optimism than the emergence of an entire national movement fighting to reinstate women's reproductive rights, which proves the point that when civic societies stand united and stand united for what is right, remain resilient. And I always think of Arlington as a place of such resilient values. I see my role in work and focus this year in translating community priorities into places that invite people in and take more people with. So these are my priorities for this 2024, despite the fact that we said that we in local government are generalists and Swiss Army knives kind of people. For number one, on climate. I plan to work on two fronts. First of all, decarbonizing buildings, transit, and transportation. We're entering the third year of our community energy plan implementation, and this is really the moment for updating our green building incentives, of positioning Arlington and the region to absorb as much, as well, and as fast as possible federal climate program dollars, getting sizable and meaningful electrification pilot for our art bus fleet, and making tangible progress on this famous EV charging infrastructure we all aspire to see in our public realm. The second area is renaturalizing our urban space. From green roofs to achieving our ambitious tree canopy goals, nature is not an antagonist of the urban system. It is rather a critical component of it. And again, climate response is a whole society issue, and therefore it has to be truly a whole government issue, like it has been for equity. On housing, despite significant progress, the rent continues to be too damn high for most Arlingtonians. We are hardly delivering on the promise for a market that provides a variety of housing options for a diverse community like ours. Not despite, but because 2024 is a year of competing fiscal priorities where there is a cost in prioritizing what really matters to our community, I stand for a significant financial commitment to the Affordable Housing Investment Fund. $0.015 of dedicated additional tax support is an appropriate and timely proposition for the next fiscal year. On to Metro. Funding Metro is not optional for Arlington. Neither it is optional for Northern Virginia nor the metropolitan region. Any reduction of the level of service risks sending Metro into a deadly tailspin and inflicting major, significant economic harm to us. The time is ripe to settle on a reliable source of revenue for the system. 2024 will be also a year that we will be rethinking, rather than just updating, our master transportation plan. Pedestrian and cyclist safety has to be central to our street design. Streets are safe when they are designed for people, not predominantly for cars. And this requires us to do some extra work and go a little bit beyond the engineering manuals. On our economy, high office vacancy rates triggered our Commercial Market Resiliency Initiative 2.0. The work is cut out for us. Zoning needs to become reasonably more flexible and less burdensome. We need to be innovative and courageous in repositioning and reusing obsolete buildings. We have to provide tangible support to our small businesses, and most importantly, for me, this year, bringing employment back to the front of attention, our most valuable renewable resource and key competitive advantage is the skill and professional capacity of our residents. Finally, for our social fabric, social solidarity matters. The way we intervene when food or house security is at stake, when mental health is at stake, or when a drug epidemic severely impacts our youngest matters. Narcan training saves lives. Making sure that the continuum of services and resources is reliable in place so that no person is left behind or alone saves entire communities. And this systemic approach is what we should be pursuing. I believe in public-private partnerships, but I also believe in a government leadership in delivering programs that set the frame for providing this social safety net that deserves the name and truly serves the people. So a few concluding thoughts. 2024 is a year of inflection for our nation and possibly for the entire world. In Arlington, we are holding high the values our officers defended on the west side of the Capitol of the United States on January 6, 2020. The values of democracy, the rule of law, of equity, justice, and liberty for all, of accountable governance, and of civic and civically minded debate, for all of which the chair's Arlington 2050 Strategic Visioning Initiative provides a very appropriate and opportune place for civic engagement this year. I want to invite you to make 2024 an exemplary year of the civility and humanity that Arlington values convey. It is not an exaggeration. Literally, the entire nation and probably the entire world is watching us. Thank you. Happy New Year.